What's the haps? It's your boy Munchlax Attacks, and boy, howdy do we have an episode for you today. I am joined once again by the lovely and vivacious Jay Falcon.
Hello.
And the equally as lovely and vivacious Tommy.
Hello. I was hoping for different adjectives, but
He's more talented than I am. I'm going to say that.
You can pick and choose your adjectives as long as they are true.
I think lovely and vivacious is fine. I'll take it.
All right. So before we get in too deep, I want to play this lovely intro song that our boy Tom made for us.
Robbie likes Pokemon. Tom and Jay just go along. After hours at the restaurant, talking about what we want. Sitting here by the beer taps. This is What's the Haps with Munchlax Attacks.
It's fucking brilliant, brother. Like,
This has been stuck in my head all day.
I was inspired last night.
it was amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even though that's the second time, it's better than the first, actually.
It's literally been just playing nonstop in my head, like all
Well,
day.
now we're official. It feels official.
Yeah, we had a theme song.
Yeah, we're making waves.
Really take
And I
off.
kept like changing the lyrics in my head. I'm like, that just made me more mad. I'm like, it's already stuck in my head. I'm not even getting the lyrics right. All right. So this is the end of a trilogy, boys. This is the final time that we're like dedicating a segment, to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the final Turtle Talk.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
So after last week's episode, I got home and I decided to watch I watched this episode, and I want to clear some things up about this episode. So this is not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They are neither mighty nor morphing.
So they have like average powers, and they stay the same form.
No, but get this. They don't stay the same form, but get this. These aren't just regular run-of-the-mill Power Rangers. They're not mighty or morphin, but here's the thing. They are a very important staple of the mid to late 90s. They are Power Rangers in space.
Oh, so the turtles are in space too?
Yeah.
Are they on the moon right there? Like,
They
what's going
are,
on?
based on just this one episode of a Power Rangers show. This is Power Rangers in Space. It was a crossover with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show that was going on at the same time. Mutagen something about mutagen, because they're mutants. And, so what I want to talk about, like, in the last episode, we theorized on what was happening in the one picture that we had. That's not Billy. The Blue Ranger's not Billy. These are all new characters, right? And, so what they were talking about in this specific scene from last week's episode was that the Blue Ranger was... Okay, so here's a full synopsis of the episode, guys.
All right, yeah.
Okay,
Dude,
here we
I'm
go.
kind of all over the place right
All
now.
right,
My mind
so
is blown still.
the Turtles get taken... They get mind-controlled by this Power Rangers villain named Astronema. Butchering that name, but it's the cliche crossover, trope where the good guys face the bad guys, but the good guys face the good guys, and one of them's mind controlled or something. So this villain, she mind controls the turtles to have them get on the Power Ranger spaceship, their space mega ship, or whatever it was called. And it's so cringe. The whole episode, everything, every little bit about it was cringe. I would just like to, real quick, show you this guy.
Something I really would like to do, just once, before I go. Name it.
This is how the episode ended. Like, there's one thing I want. I'm going to turn this down because I don't want a copyright strike. But yeah,
Whoa! What
Yeah,
are they
they're
surfing?
surfing in space
Oh,
because
that's
it's Power Rangers
so
in
cool.
space. And now you got,
Bunga.
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a good way to end it, you know. But I mean,
It
there's
was
a lot in
cringe.
the middle that we're kind of missing.
Okay, so
It seemed like they probably really
I mean, you're
earned
honest.
it.
You're not missing out on much. So what happens is the bad chick, she makes turtles. She mind controls them into getting aboard the Power Ranger ship so they can take control. Right?
Query. How did the turtles breathe in space? Now, the Rangers have helmets, which I could imagine has some kind of like oxygen supply, but these guys are just turtles.
They're mutants. They're not just turtles.
Oh, that's
that is
true.
an
They're mutants.
outlandish statement.
They are mutants.
That
and
is a horribly outrageous statement because not only are they mutants and not only are they just turtles,
They're teenagers.
air quotes, they're teenagers and they're freaking ninjas.
That's true.
But
Now-
they're mutants. That's the only explanation for
Okay.
the surfing in space.
Yeah, because as
scene.
far as I know, teenagers and ninjas are not capable of breathing in space, but mutants conceivably.
Yeah.
depends
yeah.
on
When you really
kind of
think
ninja.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Like,
So-
breaking through different atmospheres and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
Due to the mutation.
So I watched the whole episode. I didn't watch any other episodes, so I don't have answers for everything, but it was completely cringe. At some point, the leader, the Red Ranger, he had telekinesis.
whoa.
Cool.
Yeah. So like the other Power Rangers were all like tied up and stuff, and he used mind powers to move this bolt cutter that was just so conveniently placed to like cut them out of their restraints. And I'm just as a looker
Like,
on
he's
by.
like a Jedi. The Blue Ranger is what you're saying.
No, it's the Red Ranger. The leader.
Red Ranger. My
He's
bad.
got like a gray streak in his hair.
So he's like Luke. Like, he could get the lightsaber back. But in
Yeah.
this case,
Yeah,
it's the
you know
bolt
what?
cutter.
Yeah, no, I would assume Red Ranger, based on what I saw and nothing else. Yeah, he's a Jedi. He's got the Force, man.
So it's like a triple crossover.
Yeah, that does kind of bring us back to last week a little bit there.
Yeah, we did talk about Star Wars last week.
Oh, we talked
We'll
about Star Wars.
we'll talk hard about Star
Oh,
Wars
we did
one
talk
of these
about
weeks.
Star Wars.
The death count, but
How many people died? Yeah.
But no, another thing about this episode was it has like that cliche bumper for the next episode. Next week on Power Rangers in space. This is happening, but this is also happening. What will they do?
So the turtles were only in that one episode.
Yes, they were only in one episode. They have their own show, but there's something special about these turtles is
They look good.
there's talking about turtles that look good. There was a lady turtle.
Lady turtle.
Yeah, there was a fourth turtle that was introduced in
Wait, there was 4 turtles already, I thought. Would
No,
this be
there
a
was
5th turtle?
no, fifth turtle. Wait,
That's a lady turtle.
Leonardo,
Raphael,
Raphael. Yeah, so she was the 5th Ninja Turtle
Was
that
she
they
named
introduced
after
in
a
the.
Renaissance artist?
Her name is
probably like Susie.
Venus. Venus something. I don't have it written
Demilo?
down. Yeah, Venus. I love you, fucking.
Well,
guy.
wasn't that a sculpture
Yeah,
from a painting from
that is
that
her
was
name.
a
Her name
sculpture.
is
That was a Renaissance sculpture, I think.
yeah. Her name is Venus de Milo.
Because there probably weren't any like
Venus
prominent
de Milo.
Yeah.
prominent women artists in the Renaissance.
So, my question is, why is she bad?
She's bad?
No, I mean, look at her. She bad.
You mean bad?
Wait,
She bad.
that's her? Why
Yeah.
does she look like Leonardo though? She's got the same.
Yeah, they got the same color. But
I'm
it's
not-
weird how
Guys,
they
she's
kinda-
got boobs.
Yeah, it's weird how they tried to like not
No, but
go
the-
overboard with the
what?
like this is a lady and she's hot, but she's a turtle and she has
That's what I'm
boobs, but
saying, she-
why
only
don't they?
kind
Why
of.
didn't they put like a pink mask on her or something, or like magenta?
What does their
I see what you're saying.
what
Jay.
does their like groin area shell look like? Because she's got like
Can
a
we
leotard
look
for a
back?
shell.
I'm not gonna lie. Here, we'll watch this video again. Volume turned down. There was a little bit of. You see the white streak? That was the guy who was all.
All right, still waist up. Oh, so they kind of have like
Yeah, they got weird groin
Yeah,
areas.
they've got like kind of like Speedo shell going on. Yeah. Okay.
So Venus. Oops, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Venus. Like I said, she
yeah.
bad. So they wanted to introduce another female character because it's not just the Power Rangers in space. It was a crossover between a show going on at the same time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutagen, Generations, the next Mutagen, something. I'm so sorry that I don't know the name, but yeah. No, she bad. She can get it.
It's interesting how they always have to find some way to kind of sexualize the female characters and make them hot, even if they're mutated
Like
turtles.
Yeah.
You guys, you know me. She had an Asian sounding voice.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I have no backstory, no real backstory behind it because
There's no origin story at all?
I
Where
just
she came from?
I just watched one episode of a Power Ranger show where they crossed over,
And she was just there?
she was yeah. I mean, I didn't question it.
I mean, it makes sense. You would think that out of a group, your average group of 4 turtles, you'd think 50% of them would be female turtles.
I mean, yeah.
Odds, numbers, all sorts of things to find out. And what's the Haps? All right, I think that is a perfect segue into one of my favorite returning segments, guest talk time. The guests are allowed to talk about whatever they so please, as long as it's not shit talk about a coworker. In the time allotted.
Who would ever talk shit about a coworker?
Your time starts now.
Okay. Now, I feel like the last couple of weeks we had a topic that we were already just kind of jumping.
So I'm coming back right quick. I'm gonna choose your guys' topic, and it is.
Oh, you're gonna exit and you're gonna give us a topic to talk about?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I can't write worth a shit. It is tablecloths. The subject
I was
is
gonna say
because we can't have a conversation about tablecloth without breaking the first rule you just laid
Fight
down.
Club.
No, Fight Club. Yeah, exactly. I don't really want to talk about tablecloth.
I want to talk about how good the intro song is, Tommy. Did you
Thank you.
come up with that on the fly? What was the inspiration, sir?
I was just kind of sitting around, and I remembered how earlier I had told Robbie that I was going to make a theme song, and then I was like trying to think of different chords, and I had one that was kind of like rock and roll sounding.
All right.
And then I was playing with different chords, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll just do these like simple like 3 chords. And then I just kind of was like, I don't know, thinking of words that rhymed.
Okay. No,
And it's just that very simple, like
it's Slade,
dong,
brother.
dong, 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 you know what I mean?
So now I went and looked at a keyboard yesterday.
Yes.
So if and when I get prolific at this,
Oh, we can jam, and we can add a keyboard track to the theme
right?
song.
Maybe like a second verse. Of the theme
Yeah,
song?
maybe we'll get like a drum track in there.
Well, I think on the keyboard there's like a drum.
Yeah, there has to be. Yeah, there always
lay
is.
down some tracks. You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
that would be fantastic.
Oh, we got plans, Robbie.
Maybe every now and then we'll just scrap the old theme song and make a whole new one.
Yeah.
I don't hear you guys talking about tablecloths.
No, we quickly diverted the topic away from tablecloths.
That one
Yeah.
right along.
And that was
Brushed it under the rug for
that was
obvious
the guest
reasons.
talk time. Next subject. This one stays real close to my heart. It's my favorite show of all time. So, and hopefully this isn't the last time we talk about this show, but I would like to discuss Community.
Community. The great community. Now,
Community.
Jay, I don't think you're a...
See, I thought you were going Ted Lasso on it there for like a hot minute.
I think we spent enough
I
time
love
on
Ted Lasso. So, real quick about Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, we talk about it literally every week, so it's obviously going to be brought up. So, the last episode of Ted Lasso that premiered last Wednesday, best so far. Total. Out of all the seasons, best episode. Community, though. Let me talk about Community right
I would
quick.
like to quickly interrupt you and point out that this photograph's conspicuously missing Donald Glover and
Chevy Chase.
Yvette Nicole Brown and Chevy Chase. Yeah,
It's
this must be
also-
from a later season.
This is from the last season, season 6, where one of the jokes they made in one of the episodes, I think it was in the 5th or 6th season, where they're like, because they break the fourth wall so often.
Yeah, that's like the whole
I don't
point
like
of the
a TV show that's hemorrhaging characters. And then what was her name from the last season? The lady.
Frankie.
Someone looks to Frankie and she's like, I'll see what I can do about the hemorrhaging characters. I don't like the sound of that. But Jay, back in the day, I would put on an episode of Community when the restaurant cleared out, when the lobby was empty, just to amuse myself and show my coworkers my favorite show. And more than once, the Penn episode.
The Penn episode is
I
good.
kind of remember the Penn episode.
Jay doesn't like the Penn episode.
I can't really remember why, but yeah.
Because they're just complaining about a pen.
And who took it?
Maybe that's what it was. I mean, like, I can get behind, like, the pen thing, though. Because, like, if somebody takes my Sharpie...
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Or my pen?
In this context, yeah.
Sharpies in the Crossroads workplace is
They're like
hot
gold.
commodity.
Yeah.
Gold.
Right. I got to take one home for the weekend. It was crazy. Yeah.
That was something great about Tristan.
Yeah, he had 3 of them.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Jay, you got to have that Sharpie on you? And Tristan was like, bang, here's one of mine. I was like, oh, this is going to work out just fine.
Yep.
But a Community.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess that your only experience, Jay, with Community is from Robbie playing it at work sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of like an afterthought. It's like white noise. And he's like got his earphones in and he's like laughing and going on and quoting all the words and stuff. And I'm
I've
like,
seen it that many times. It's my favorite show.
So
I know.
In general, the concept of Community is that it very much is a standard sitcom. It abides by all the tropes of the sitcom. There's some kind of a problem, and then they have to learn a little something, and then the main guy makes a speech at the end.
The
that brings
Dan
them all
Harmon-
back
it's like
together.
a fable.
The famous story
Right.
circle. Dan Harmon's famous story circle.
But at the same time, it's also skewering the same tropes that it uses to great effect. And most episodes are a parody of a certain kind of television or filmmaking or a specific movie.
For example.
Well, there's a million examples.
I'm asking you for at least 2.
I love the Law and Order one.
Oh,
The Law and Order episode is good.
Season
That was
3.
actually written by, I've been listening to the Always Sunny podcast, and that is like hosted by one of the, Meg, I don't know her last name, but she wrote that Community episode, and now she's a writer on Always Sunny.
Oh, Meg, let's not talk about Meg. Because that's a whole different podcast.
Do you have a soft spot for Meg?
Oh no, there's a whole story about.
Are you mad at her?
Can you look that up? Because I don't.
Why you're mad at Meg?
No, her name.
Oh, yeah.
All right, because so they're back in season 3. This was right before Dan Harmon got fired from the show. There was a writer named Meg. I thought you were closer to that than okay,
No.
but yeah. And there was
Megan
Gantz. That's what it was.
What, did Dan Harmon like sexually harass her? Is that what wasn't he like a douche?
I mean, he was an alcoholic. I mean, I assume he still is. But yeah, no, he was a horrible person to Megan Gantz. Like he was
In real life?
Yeah. He was.
That's
He
why
was
he
like,
had
it
to
was
leave
like
the show.
one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But he was like I don't know, just basic story about boss having feelings for an employee.
Handling them inappropriately,
Basically.
creating a hostile work environment.
There's a happy ending to this story because years later, Dan Harmon apologized, and Megan Gantz herself even said that everyone should take this master class in apology.
Yeah, it was because a lot of times these like scumbag dudes will be like, "I'm sorry if I did anything wrong," but his apology was like very sincere and about like, I'm gonna try to become a better person and all this. I forget exactly what he said, but it seemed to come from a
he
sincere place.
was
Silver lining?
Yeah.
He was forgiven, but
And then he came back to the show and it got good again.
Yeah, and Megan Gantz, she was on her always in Sunny in Philadelphia. I would always remember that name, Megan Gantz. Well, not tonight, but whenever I saw it, and I'm like, oh shit, she went to Always Sunny now. But Community.
I was earlier today. I woke up and decided that I wanted to go back to sleep for longer, so I just threw some Community on. And so I was like half asleep and half awake while the zombie episode, where the Dean's playlist of all ABBA songs is playing the whole time this zombie outbreak is happening.
Epidemiology.
Mm-hmm.
But pronounced right.
I love the Dean.
Is that Chevy Chase?
Craig Pelton.
Craig Pelton.
Craig Pelton. That's the name of the
actor. He actually won an Oscar.
That's the name of the character. Craig Pelton.
Chris, yeah, Jim Rash. Jim Rash. He won an Oscar for a screenplay that he wrote.
Sick.
How about it?
I know that.
Yeah.
That's rad. And you got Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong is hilarious.
He's coming to Cornell.
He's
really?
He's the commencement speaker.
No shit.
It's like, how do I get in on? How do I get
My
in?
My commencement speaker was Howard Dean. And this was after he had been disgraced for going like, wow, during that speech. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know who that is. I'm going to write it down.
Well, he ran for president in the Democratic Party, and he didn't get the nomination. And in his, like, speech where he says, like, I forget what they call it, I didn't win speech or whatever, he was, like, all excited and jazzed up, and he was like, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna try even harder. Wow! Wow! He did this like unhinged screaming noise, and then it just like that noise just immediately ruined his politics career. And then he spoke at my college graduation.
It's a good like meme or something.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we could probably find that. I want to find the Howard Dean scream. It's called the Howard Dean scream.
Maybe after the podcast, because we have just scratched the surface on the whole community.
But I really feel like the listeners want to hear the scream if they aren't familiar with it.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Here's the thing. All of these listeners have access. They have the internet. They know how to look it up.
Yeah, well, I'm doing it anyway.
All right.
He's going off the rails.
I'll accept defeat. A man enough to know when I can stand down.
The scream that doomed Howard Dean. Oh, it's an advertisement.
No, XXX. No. We are not sponsored by...
here he goes. He's talking.
You know something?
I'm going to go to the end.
If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? You know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. We're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
How that ruined it?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I was kind of buying it.
That would sell me.
Well,
that would sell me, man.
Before
I would buy that. I would buy that freaking product, knowing nothing about politics. Just off of that video alone, I would be like, that's the kind of man I want to vote for.
Yeah.
ShamWow needed that guy.
Yeah, Howard Dean's probably on the level now if he could be the ShamWow guy, I think. This is back when political careers were much easier to ruin. But we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Let's leave that one.
So, community, though. Let me tell you about Community.
Wonderful program.
Can you tell me your favorite episode of Community?
Oh, that's a toughie.
My favorite episode would have to be a tie for every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
Outside the fourth season.
Yeah, except for the fourth season.
That was the season of gas leak year where they didn't have Dan Harmon writing. They fired Dan Harmon in the fourth season, and it wasn't good.
It wasn't good, and it was weird, and everybody felt different. It was a weird, different, new feeling show. But then when they came back in the fifth season with Dan Harmon again, in true Community fashion, the first thing
got
they was
on the rails.
Yeah, so they made a joke about like didn't everything feel really weird last year to you guys? And then
that was the gas leak.
They said that there was a gas leak all year that was making everybody act strange. Is how their tongue-in-cheek way of saying like that season sucked because of this behind-the-scenes stuff.
But then they
very kind of fourth wall breaking nature of Community.
And then you got the infamous voicemail. The infamous Dan Harmon Chevy Chase voicemail.
Oh, yes. There's some juicy gossip and drama here.
Off the show?
Yeah, so I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chevy Chase left Dan Harmon some kind of a voicemail, an angry voicemail, and then at like a staff party or something, Dan Harmon like
It was
played
it was at his podcast before they
he played it on his
it was on
podcast.
Harmontown before they started recording Harmontown.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he played this voicemail. That
From
Chevy
what
Chase
I
had
understand,
left.
Chevy Chase is kind of like a prima
Yeah.
donna.
Yeah, he's
Like,
kind of an
whatever.
asshole.
He played that,
And then he was going around dropping N-bombs a couple times, I think. Which
and we just found out about that.
yeah.
We
Okay.
just so like that Nicole Brown. I think this was the straw that broke the
the community's back.
yes was so basically the character of Pierce Hawthorne is more or less just based on real life Chevy Chase, where he would say like completely out of date and racist shit.
Yes.
And
a lot of racism, a lot of homophobia.
yeah,
A lot of just old man
sexism,
curmudgeonly sexism.
Yeah. So Chevy Chase at one point said near the end was like, "Oh, what is my character gonna say next? Is he gonna call Troy a?"
Yeah. When
He
was
said
making
that
it-
out loud, and
and-
Yvette
and-
Nicole Brown heard that, and
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm not coming back until this man is fired."
Yeah. So he was like kind of trying to argue that like his character is like cartoonishly racist,
Yeah,
but
you
he
go-
was
you go-
making that point in an extremely racist way.
Exactly. You go about it in a different way.
And obviously that upset the staff or those
Yeah. There's a whole
co-stars.
lot of drama behind Community.
Sounds like a community to me.
Yes.
So, moving forward, not that forward. I swear to God, I had more community pictures.
To the listeners and viewers, there's a crack on Robbie's phone,
Yeah.
which to me made it look like Annie is holding a fishing pole, and I thought that seems unusual
Okay,
that
no,
Annie would
I
be
see
holding
it.
a fishing
I
pole
see
in this photograph, but she is not.
So, we're still talking about community, but moving on from just general talking about it, I would like to, for us, all three of us, even Jay, who has like little to no knowledge about community,
Like none.
Yeah. And I feel bad kind of excluding Jay from this topic.
I'm okay. I'm in my lane right here.
I want us to create a pitch for the community movie. All right. So way back in the earlier seasons of Community, there was a bit about the very quickly canceled television show The Cape, where
yeah, I forgot about the cape.
it was
It was
a clip episode, and Abed was crazy about the premiere, and he had his own cape, and he was just like,
He was good at being the cape. That guy, what's that guy's name? Danny.
I don't remember the actor. Nothing.
Danny. No, the
Bonaducci.
No, the guy who plays Abed.
Oh, Danny Pudi.
Danny Pudi.
Okay, I
that's
thought you were
right,
talking
yeah.
about the actual actor from the TV show.
No,
The Cape.
No. But Danny Pudi is a multifaceted. He's great great at when he's doing the cape.
He's
He was
just
great when he was doing some kind of creepy lizard man at one point. He does a great Batman. He does a good vampire.
all the deleted scenes from that Batman
When he's
episode.
talking to Troy.
in the Halloween episode. But that's getting off topic.
Yes.
It's on topic but off topic. But so Abed was like messing around with the cape and stuff and knocking stuff over, and Jeff said, "It's gonna last 3 weeks." And Abed responded with a line that has become #infamous. Infamous in the world of hashtags, not hashtag. 6 seasons and a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. It's kind of the rallying cry of the Community fan
So
base.
whenever Community was like dying basically and close to cancellation, the fan base got together and came up with 6 seasons and a movie, because we got to have 6 seasons of Community and a movie.
Which they did end up getting canceled after their 6th season. So the prophecy appeared to be halfway true.
I mean, technically they got canceled after the 5th season, and then Yahoo Screen picked them up.
That's right.
And then Yahoo
For the
Screen
6th
failed,
season.
and then blamed it on Community.
It's Yahoo what?
Yeah. So back in the day, back in like I think 2015, 2016,
I'm unaware.
Yahoo tried their own streaming service, which now that I think about it was kind of ahead of its time. You know,
Okay.
it's still in like Netflix era,
Okay.
but they bought the TV show, the rights to the TV show Community from NBC, and and they started their streaming service with Community as basically
The flagship, so
yeah,
to speak?
yeah, basically the face of the, and the streaming service failed miserably, and they blamed it on Community.
You don't hear a lot from Yahoo anymore these days. I had a roommate, my buddy Larry. One time, I happened to glance over while he was on his computer, and he was typing the word Yahoo into Google. I was like, Larry,
I mean, I
what are you
would
doing,
do that,
man?
but it'd be the other way around.
Yeah. That he also is the same guy who he took an online course in public speaking one time. I thought that was pretty goddamn funny.
All right, so Community, 6 seasons and a movie. So just recently, it was announced that
Big news.
we're finally getting that movie on the Peacock streaming service.
Oh,
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have to fucking get a free trial of Peacock whenever that comes out, and then hope I remember to cancel it.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So allegedly they're supposed to start filming in June, July. We don't know who's on, but
Yeah.
tonight I would like us three of us to pitch the perfect Community movie.
Well, I don't think there's any way we can pitch the perfect Community movie. I mean, they have a whole staff of writers who have been writing years and years of material of this show. They have a better idea.
ironically, they're on strike right now, Tommy.
Oh, that's
So
true. The
we-
Writers Guild is on
I
strike.
just heard about that
That's
today.
true. So we kind of have to stand in solidarity with them.
No, we need to wear the scabs.
We could
Wear the
strike.
scabs.
I don't want to be a
We could
scab.
Wear
strike
the
where the
scabs.
iron's hot.
Okay, so I guess my big question is how do you... I spilled beer on my wrist.
Oh,
But,
Tom, first
so-
it was vanilla ice cream, and now
the big...
I was so hoping that vanilla ice cream wasn't going to get brought up.
Thanks, Robbie. But the big question is, how do you incorporate the college aspect of this, right? Because it's been so long. When they did bring it back, it was like they had some sort of, maneuvering that they did where it was like, oh, now Jeff is like a teacher at the school, and the rest of the guys are all on this committee to try to save the thing, because it really, and that was always one of the big jokes, right? Because it's like a community college, which is like a 2-year school, and they're like, how come you all have been here for like 5 semesters at this community college?
That's not totally unheard of. A lot
That's
of
true. That's
community colleges offer 4-year degrees.
That's true.
That's literally the line.
But so anyway, I go, yeah, that is from the show. But that would be the big question, right? Like, how do you... are they even at a college at all anymore? Because how many years ago was it? That, you know what I mean? They're all... I mean, Allison Brie has gone on to have, like, this, like, fantastic film career. She's, like, a great actor, and she, like, looks way different. Everybody's older, you know? Like, every time they bring a show back, it's always like, what the... Like, why do y'all look like that?
All three of us can write around that, all right? So here's, like, my, like, bones of a pitch is, So, do you remember the series finale? Do you remember the very last episode where they're pitching season 7 of Community?
That, season 6, I'm, like, the least familiar with out of all of them. Well, except for season 4. I think I watched, like, the first episode of season 4, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to skip to season 5.
Well, yeah, you started watching around that time.
I never saw it, like, when it was on TV. I only got into it, like, probably, like, a couple years ago when it was on Netflix or whatever.
So I'm thinking, Jaybird.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in prison.
No. City College. Those darn rats.
That's
City College.
the rival college in the town. That's their rival college.
So like Cornell versus Ithaca College?
Essentially,
basically?
yes.
Okay.
Essentially,
The Red
yes.
Dragons versus the Bombers?
Yes.
All right.
The Red Dragons is Cortland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sealand, as I like to call it.
Cornell's Big Red, right?
Yeah, the bear.
Yeah.
So, I think if you're going to have this movie, right,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not going to be any paintball or Dungeons and Dragons.
These are famous individual episodes from the show.
Oh, okay.
There
Where
was a
the-
Dungeons and
the-
Dragons episode, which you can't watch anymore because a character was in like something appropriating blackface or something approximating blackface, and so
It was dark green. And then Yvette Nicole Brown's character says, "Is nobody going to say anything about this hate crime?"
Yeah,
I
because
kind of like how
he was supposed to be like a dark elf or something, right? Like from Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah, but I just would like to point out that I really, truly regret how I said, quoted Yvette Nicole Brown's character, Shirley. I don't like how I quoted that. But
That's okay. I think it's fine.
But I feel like if the movie is going to happen, it has to have a big conflict, and I think the only really big conflict is City College.
Yeah.
We didn't get enough City College in the last couple seasons.
That's a good point.
There was this whole thing at the end of season 3 where they got this big plan for a giant robot spider or something or another.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was after Starburst.
Jay is
blew
like,
up.
we should probably, just for the sake of Jay being able to at least interject a bit, I feel like we should curtail the.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Very valid point.
put a stop to it, but I want to hear a
bit.
bit more from my man Jay Falcon.
I know. I've been feeling the same exact way, and I am sorry about that, Jay.
No,
No,
I feel
because
like I'm
we
getting
have,
an education.
bro. No, Jay's gonna come home tonight. He's gonna watch Community.
He's going to watch Community. It's a very humorous and whimsical television program.
You have Netflix, right?
I do.
Oh, it's all up on there, bro.
All right.
Go to sleep to it. I don't care if you fall asleep to it in
That's
a
what
couple
I do.
episodes, because if you watch just a little bit of it, you'll be hooked. All right, so we're moving on.
It's true. It's a good show. It's funny. The dialogue is
We can
extremely
talk about
witty.
Community again. I mean, we finally finished talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after 3 episodes.
That's true.
Maybe we can do a trilogy on Community. Maybe. We can finish this movie pitch someday. But we are moving on to everyone's favorite Pokemon-themed setting.
Oh, hell yeah. Is it the...
Segment, not setting.
Okay, yep.
Pokemon, real or fake?
All right.
Tommy, I think you're winning right now.
I think...
Yeah, I don't
think
have
it's-
a score.
Wait, no, we
set up.
tied last week.
Yeah.
You got the bonus point. Like right in the beginning
Yeah,
of the
but that
episode.
And then you
Bonus point,
shared
though,
it.
it-
You
but
shared it, so you each have like half a point at
Yeah.
this point.
And also, I consider that point to not... That's a point outside of Pokemon Real or Fake.
Okay.
You know, I had this episode outline all planned out, and it would start with me talking about something involving Pepper, but he is not here tonight. That is breaking my gosh darn heart.
Yeah, Pat Burke.
Yeah, Pat Burke.
But those tablecloths, though.
Tried to get him
Shame.
to stay. Tried to get
All
him
right,
to stay.
all right. I'm going to show our lovely contestants, lovely and vivacious
Wow.
contestants, several Pokemon, and it is up to them to determine whether or not they are real or fake. Now, tonight,
I'm feeling
Tonight.
pressure.
you should feel the
I'm a
pressure
little nervous.
because tonight, gloves coming off.
This is war.
First Pokemon or
Oh.
Fakemon.
Dude.
This is Shark-a-Rogue.
Shark-a-Rogue.
It is a dark water type Pokemon.
I see. It's wearing the pants that you would think a rogue or a roguish type person would wear. And it also appears to be half dressed up like a shark.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, guys. That's another Pokemon.
Oh, it's sort of a...
That shark on top of his head as a sort of shawl is actually a Sharpedo, a shark Pokemon.
So
That
they've
is-
got...
that shares the same typing as Sharkaroo.
So they have a bit of a symbiosis going on.
Not really, because that Sharpedo don't look like Sharpedo. That Sharpedo does not look alive to me, if I had to guess. So I wouldn't call it symbiosis.
Oh, I see. Now,
Half man. Half shark.
all Pokemon.
It kind of has like a face of a Ninja Turtle when you really look at
A
it.
little
I
bit.
can
It's got
see
a bit
that.
of kind
I
of
can see
turtly, kind of
that.
a beaky type
Yeah.
protrusion there.
Yeah, those eyes.
The roguey
I
pants.
see
I
like
want you guys to remember,
Raphael's
this
face.
is the most difficult Pokemon real or fake episode that I think we're honestly ever going to have.
I find it interesting.
I don't think I can one-up myself with this episode tonight.
You have a lot of information. That
I was
you-
going to say, I'm
yeah.
going real because
Yeah.
basically you're telling me a little bit.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
immediately
but you
divulge
all-
a lot of information about it.
Keep in mind, this is gloves off. That could mean nothing.
I don't know. I'm still going real.
So
He's got Popeye tattoos. If you look at
Little anchors. All right, so where are we landing on this guy?
I'm going real.
I'm
Going
gonna
real?
say that my guess is that the website that Robbie gets the fake ones from also provides like fake information about them, and he could be providing that to us.
I come up with about like 75% of the information.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's straight out of Robbie's dome.
Because if I click on the picture and there is no name, I just come up with my own name, which leads you to think Shark a Rogue. Is that a real name? Is that a real name?
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say fake, and you know why? Because
I don't know why.
when I was in high school, I did a lot of like photo editing and like making animations and stuff. And purely because it has the transparent Photoshop PNG file background behind it, I'm going to say that this is something somebody made.
I will tell you.
Obviously, all Pokemon or something somebody made,
that-
but this is like a user created. I'm going to say fake.
I will say that based on the transparent background, because that is a thing that has been it's been a struggle since the first episode, because I've always been worried about like if there's a black background, that means it's fake, or if there's a checkered background,
Yeah,
it's
or
fake.
if there's like a logo in the background that says 100% authentic
Yeah,
Pokemon.
no, I can't have anything with watermarks. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But that also could mean
It
absolutely
could,
nothing.
It could mean that somebody simply highlighted this Pokemon out of a thing and placed it onto a transparent background. But I'm going to still say fake.
Fake, Jay?
I'm staying with real.
This is, in fact, a fake Pokemon.
Yeah,
Tom gets a
man,
point.
Dude.
I'm unstoppable at this game.
Yeah.
All right. Up next,
I gotta like check something.
Orikian.
See, now we have that same issue.
It is
Dude, she's got the fake background too.
Yeah.
it's a transparent background, and if you look really closely, not the same kind, doesn't look the same.
Yeah. Interesting.
This is Orikian, Orikayan. I mean, I would pronounce it one way. Someone could pronounce it like another. You say Rayquaza, I say Rayquaza.
I have never said Rayquaza.
But yeah, no, it is a fairy bug type Pokemon.
It looks like one.
It has 6 legs.
It's very ant-like. With the mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at its head, it also kind of looks cobra.
Yeah, it's got a cobra kind of a vibe going on with then like kind of weird butterfly
But
wings.
then it's got the same like cat from like Alice in Wonderland. The
Yeah.
Cheshire Cat.
Yes, it's got a Cheshire Cat tail. It's got like ant mandibles.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mosquito wings.
I don't
A lot going on there.
I don't know.
Where
I don't
are
know
we
what to say
landing
on this
on
one.
Oricarian?
I'm gonna say real.
Yeah.
Japer,
I don't want to follow the herd, but it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna
Is
like.
he though?
I'm gonna lean on
He's
this
only
one.
as good as you let him be.
You know what? I have like no bearing on the Pokemon world, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go real.
This is a fake Pokemon, guys.
Son of a bitch. Maybe we should.
You
use
said fake, or you
I
said
said
real?
real. I said
oh,
real,
you
yeah.
said real. So
I said
no
real
points.
because I thought
points.
I would like second guess my own background
points.
hypothesis, but
All right. Next up, we have Obstagoon.
Obstagoon looks kind of
It's
like
a-
Mega Man.
Is a
Yeah.
dark normal type.
definite Mega Man vibe going on with the
Dude.
big blue arm parts.
Yep. And then he's got like the mask on.
Yeah,
He's kind of looking like all jacked. Like he looks like the villain at the end of the board.
yeah.
I wonder what his power would be.
I don't know. Do you remember what Robbie said he was called?
I don't know. Schnar's lock. I don't know.
Mega Goon or
Yeah,
something.
Megagoon. He looks like a fucking Megagoon to me.
I just don't know, man. Like, I never thought of Pokemon's like having legs, like being bipedal.
Oh wow.
You
Kind
know,
of looks like, from this angle, it looks way different than.
Oh, that's true.
sitting,
Yeah,
like, up
Jay
and
sits kind
behind
of around
him.
the side. Yeah.
He kind of looks like he's got the face of a honey badger,
Yes, I was trying to kind of put my finger on that. I can see, honey badger for sure.
like a honey badger with jacked arms, like curls for the girls.
and
you know
then
what I
like
mean?
UGG boots.
Yeah, dude, definitely UGG boots.
What's that, my dude?
It's like
This guy's very stylish.
Who does he look like?
like a honey badger
Like
with
a
Ugg
honey
boots.
boots. Yeah.
Honey badger Mega Man wearing Ugg boots.
All right, guys. This is Obstagoon, a dark, normal type Pokemon.
Normal type.
Dark, normal.
What kind is Pokemon? I mean, what kind is Pikachu?
Pikachu, care to take a guess?
Light normal.
Yellow jumper.
Like, see, Pikachu looks happy.
That makes me think, like, you guys don't know, all you know about, okay, look at this guy.
He's like a happy cat. That's kind of like a rabbit almost.
So this goes to show just how little knowledge these guys have about Pokemon. They don't even know what type Pikachu is, let alone be able to guess the typing. I mean, Jay threw out light type, but light type's not a thing yet. Pikachu is an electric type. This is Obstagoon, a dark, normal type.
Normal. I just feel this is so... I don't even know. I'm all so turned around.
I don't want to say
There is a
wrong
black
thing.
background, so what does that tell you?
Nothing really.
Exactly. Doesn't tell you anything.
I'm going to have to say real. I feel like I'm going to have to say it. But I'm not confident anymore. I honestly don't think any Pokemon should have
Ugg
people,
boots on.
Ugg boots or people legs.
Yep.
There are an alarming amount of Pokemon that have humanoid features,
Yeah.
specifically from throwing in a little more information to
Okay.
throw you off, specifically from the generation that Obstagoon is from.
How many Pokemon characters are there?
I said this in the first episode, there are over 1,000 at this point.
Dear Lord.
So we should start studying.
And if you
No.
if
Like
you
flashcards.
I refuse.
I refuse. Even if you count like different forms of the same Pokemon, that's well over 1,000. Well over 1,000. So where, Jay, real or fake?
Well, Tommy said real.
I did.
I don't know. I always feel like a dumbass one. Like a no bearing. I'm going to go real as well.
All right. Let me just mark this down. This Pokemon right here, Obstagoon, is a real Pokemon,
Yeah,
guys. You both
buddy,
get a
dude.
point. You're
Fuck
both on
yeah.
the board. Little bit of information. This is the shiny form.
Oh, he does look like he's ready to...
This
he's
is
in the
a
mood.
shiny form of Pokemon. I'm throwing it off.
I thought that was like a tattoo right there, but maybe that's
Also-
just gleaming
so-
like...
Obstagoon,
Tattoo.
think of like a rocker from the 80s that this Pokemon reminds you of. He's got his tongue sticking out.
He's like Kiss.
Yeah,
He's got a
yeah.
kiss
He was
vibe.
based. This Pokemon was based on Gene Simmons.
Excellent. That works. I
Oh,
see
yeah.
it.
And that...
Normally,
and it's shiny. You know, Gene Simmons claims to have had sex with over like 400 million women or something like that.
I don't know how pertinent that is, but
Because
normally,
the shiny aspect and the breeding.
normally,
It's completely relevant.
normally, Obstagoon is black and white.
Oh.
But I
that
chose
would really drive home the kiss aesthetic.
So I chose to throw out the more saturated sprite of the shiny version.
Is that like an albino Obstagoon right there then?
I mean, in terms of like rarity, yeah,
Okay.
basically. So you have a shiny version of every Pokemon that's just a different color, and that could vary from Pikachu being yellow.
Didn't that mean that
just,
they
like,
were like fertile
orange?
or whatever?
I think that's how we interpreted it. I don't think Robbie ever
That's
implied in any sense that was the case.
Can we have a
Chamber-
conversation?
Chamber, we're talking about Pokemon breeding once we get there.
Yeah, I know, that's what I said. I thought
Yeah,
we were
we're
talking
gonna-
about Pokemon
Well,
breeding.
we're
I
next
thought
getting
it
up,
was
to
we
shiny.
have
Getting to the good stuff.
this guy,
Oh, come on.
Zygarde,
Dude,
Real,
Zygarde.
real
a
Pokemon.
ground dragon type Pokemon.
Real, it's too fucking wacky looking to not be a real Pokemon. Because if somebody was going to invent a fake Pokemon, they would try harder than that. Like, one of its eyes doesn't even have a pupil.
How do you know that's an eye? Maybe it's an ear.
Oh, that's a good point.
Stop,
Maybe
you're
that's
fucking
just-
up my perception right now.
Maybe that's just it's just
What it,
one eye.
honestly, it looks
Maybe
like a
that's-
fetal Pokemon.
Yeah, like it's underdeveloped.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 to 3 Pokemon that fit that description.
Well, this is one of them then.
This, so Zygarde, this,
It looks a lot like most like fetuses of a lot of different animals.
Let me throw some background information to throw you off. This specific form of Zygarde, you can't use in any game. There's no game that allows you to use this Pokemon. Am I lying? I lying?
It's possible. Why would that be?
I don't know. It could have appeared in the anime. It could have appeared as in just an image or like some fetch quest.
Or like sitting in a jar in the background or something. Like a homunculus. A Pokemonculus.
He kind of reminds me of the Mucinex commercials.
Oh yeah, with those like phlegm monsters.
Yeah,
that, they make like a living room out of your sinuses.
And then
He could live in there.
What's the name of the actor?
What actor?
The actor who voiced the
Mucinex guy?
Yeah, he was that actor who got canceled. He was on Silicon Valley. He was Deadpool, Deadpool 2.
The bartender?
Yeah.
Oh, I know the guy's got like kind of long frizzy
hair, looks like Carrot Top,
talks
but not.
weird. Its name starts with a J. Maybe it's a J something. Does he have initials?
No, it was like 2 letters.
Oh, he looks like Weird
Yeah,
Al
it's like J.P. Smarkins or something.
Zygarde, real or fake?
Zygarde, ZYG, zygote, fetus. I'm onto something there, and I don't know if that makes it less likely to be real or not.
You're getting excited.
I'm into it, man, because this is
Excited.
now. I had an idea, and I'm
Now you're
noticing-
trying to like.
I'm seeing evidence that my idea might possibly have been true. Now, I don't know if they are inventing weirdo, goddamn fetal Pokemon.
They are.
Well, real. My first gut instinct, I said real as soon as I saw that goddamn thing, and I'm saying that fucking,
Goddamn thing.
that weird.
Jaybird.
Well, because Tommy's so adamant about being real, I'm gonna go fake.
Okay, well, I'm very excited right now.
Yeah, dude, you are. You are. I don't want to dash your dreams.
One of you is right.
Okay, that makes
One
sense.
of us is
That makes
right.
sense. That makes sense.
And it is my boy, Tommy.
Hey, real Pokemon!
This is a real Pokemon.
Feed us.
This is Zygarde single cell form. So what happens?
I was right.
So you go around Alola collecting these, and once you have, I wish I had the picture of the other forms. To kind of fucking shit the bed on that. But you collect these and you put them in a little cube or box or whatever.
I like the word satchel.
Satchel.
It's not a satchel because it's square, and satchels
Whatever.
are
Satchels are kind of clothy.
Satchels are
So
cool.
you have
Satchels are great.
So you have Zygarde single cell form. I wasn't lying when I said you can't play with this. This isn't
Right,
like
you
a. It's
can't
not
play
Because it's not even a thing.
But you
yet.
have like a Zygarde 15% form, which is literally just like a dog. You have Zygarde 50% form, which is like a giant snake thing with
Okay.
coming out of its head and whatnot. And then you have its 100% form, which doesn't even look like a Pokemon. Looks like a freaking Power Ranger
Interesting.
thing.
I gotta say, I am riding
And
high
I
right now.
did no. I love when you said like Zygarde.
Yeah.
So the Pokemon, the generation this Pokemon comes from is the game's Pokemon X and Y.
Oh, so they've got a whole genetics aspect going.
So you have Xerneas, which is the X Pokemon. The Pokemon that lives on the ground. It's a fairy type,
Okay.
and it is life and whatnot, life energy. And then you have Yveltal, the Y Pokemon,
Yeah.
flying Y-axis. And it is the cocoon of destruction. So you got life and death, and then you have Zygarde, which is like the in-between of all that stuff. It is the protector of the environment, right?
I like that.
So when you got people like mining shit, Zygarde will come out and be all like, "Ooh, no." So hang on, it's
Kind
just
of a
a second.
Lorax sort of a vibe.
Okay, we have one more Pokemon. One more Pokemon left. Tom has won this game, but Jay has a chance to get a second point. And our final mod,
Hey!
real or fake,
Wow, look at that guy.
Executor.
Three-headed palm tree
It is a
dinosaur.
grass dragon type Pokemon.
It's kind Kind of reminds me of like the See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Yeah,
Speak No
yeah, the
Evil
monkeys.
vibes.
Each coconut head has its own personality.
Or like the three-headed giant from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Never seen it.
Dude, did you ever see that movie Ski Patrol?
No.
Is that like some late 80s like skiing movie?
Yeah.
sounds
So there's
like
a
it.
guy.
I challenge you to ski off, bro.
Yeah, no, there's like a
and
dude.
if I win, we close down the slopes.
So it's like this guy, and then he's got like two masks on.
Did I nail
either
that?
side. Yeah, pretty much. But same kind of deal. And like there's like he's the conscious one. And then he's got like the good devil, and then he's got the like maybe we shouldn't. And he's like life, ski fast.
Yeah, that's probably this. That's probably
that's-
this guy on the right.
Yeah, he's the good guy.
The question is this even real? He is Executor.
You know what's
Egg.
weird about these Pokemans? It's like none of the like artistry is like congruent. I will say it like
Yeah, or
that.
consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like all in the same.
We've
like,
been at
front page.
this for
thing,
about
yeah.
25 years, guys. We've been at this for 20.
Well, you know, like the Simpsons characters, it's like you can just tell.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like a
you can.
Simpsons
Yeah, you can
character.
tell an episode of The Simpsons from 1994 and an episode of The Simpsons from 2021.
That's true. They did evolve a bit over time. But once they like really snapped into that what they look like, they never really changed it.
So that brings up another thing for me to think about when making up with Pokemon Real or Fake. I'm gonna just come at you with old ass sprites from 1996, right? I'm gonna show you a
Do
sprite.
they have fake ones from then?
No, it's just that they've evolved from being on a Game Boy
Right.
to being on a Nintendo Switch on your freaking big ass TV.
Right.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Back in the day, it was black and white. When they originally started this shit, they didn't even have color.
Remember
No
the Simpsons
way.
game?
Pokemon used to be black and white.
Before they came out with the Game Boy Color, it was in black and white.
It was that old.
It really was.
Interesting.
And then you played those same games on the Game Boy Color. They added color.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I will say, as soon as I saw that thing, my gut said real, and I've learned over the years that not to second guess myself. So I'm gonna have to say real, even though I am second guessing myself, and I think that it's probably fake based on the number of reals and fakes we've already had. But I don't know how he lined up the
How
proportion.
many fakes did we have?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
But I gotta go with my gut. I'm gonna say real Pokemon.
See, like I want to like lean into my gut right now, but since I'm down and I'm already down, I'm gonna go with fake,
All
just
right.
to see if I
Just
can.
in case. Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
just in case.
Executor.
I'm already losing.
Grass
I'm swinging
dragon
at defenses. At this
type
point.
Pokemon is real.
See,
Oh, I was right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Shit, man, I'm fucking good at this game.
dude, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Jaybird, you at
Or
least
the
got
bathroom.
1 point. The fact is, you got on the board, and that is truly what's most important.
Dude, it's how you play the game.
All right.
It's how you play the game.
All right. Yeah, we're running a bit late, so I think we're gonna. Yeah, no, we're gonna end it. We have one final subject to discuss. Something that has been brought up on every episode we've had, and I kind of want to wait for Tom to come back.
To unleash it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Jay, how are you doing today?
Good. It's like kind of cold out today. Got a little ride in, little 30-miler.
You got a ride in today?
Oh yeah.
All
A
rad.
little rainy, but we got it done. And then work was decent. Training up a new guy,
There's a new guy in today?
Tristan. Yep.
Tristan?
Very cool. Very excited. And yeah, moving the
Is he
chains.
going to be in tomorrow?
He will. And we got mac and cheese bowl tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I heard about
And
mac and
then
cheese.
Thursday we got an event. Friday we got an event. And Saturday we got.
Yesterday, my brother was over, and at some point, like a cookbook got like thrown out there, and I was looking for mac and cheese recipes
All right.
because I knew the cheese bowl was happening soon. I didn't find anything. The only thing marked mac and cheese was some freaky mac and cheese soup, and I don't think that's what we're going for.
No, not a soup. We're
No.
going the original flavor.
So this topic has been brought up in every single episode. And I know for the second week in a row, we are starting to drag on, but it is time to delve into it as deeply as we possibly can.
Wink.
calm the fuck down, Tom. It's finally time to talk about, drumroll, please, Pokemon breeding.
Oh man, this better get salacious.
All right. So, Pokemon breeding. There are so many
pictures.
None of them are really good. None of them do
doing
justice to the subject.
Are they doing it?
Yeah, you wish. So, Pokemon breeding. So, from what I've gathered over the lore about Pokemon breeding, is that there is this. Basically, it's a joke at this point that nobody really knows where Pokemon eggs come from. Basically, in lore, Pokemon eggs just spawn.
They just show up.
They just show up, and the people in game don't even know where it comes from, which leads me to believe that that Pokemon, they just reproduce like asexually. More or less.
That's a lot of critters.
There might be one. There might be two, in order to like base. I'm gonna regret saying it, but to conceive.
Okay,
but,
now we're getting somewhere.
But there. Jesus Christ, Tom. But in the lore, in the games and stuff, there's nothing to suggest that the Pokemon
do it.
So
they don't
no like dinner and dancing.
There's dinner involved in the newer generation.
Yeah,
in the newer generation,
picnics or something.
there are picnics.
Is that like a courtship?
Yeah. Is it like cute? Do they like go? Do they like get
They
near
don't
each other
interact.
and then they
There's-
start wiggling around like
There is
"Woo,"
no
like they're happy?
There is no interaction. All right. So in the original
Twitter
games,
pated.
Yeah,
So-
I was gonna say that.
Twitter
Do they
pated.
they don't get Twitter pated?
so from breeding was introduced in Generation 2, where they introduced baby Pokemon, baby version,
JVs?
baby.
Okay.
Yeah, baby JV. So they introduced baby versions of Pokemon, already existing Pokemon, like Alakid for Electabuzz or Magby for Magmar.
Uh-huh.
And they also introduced the Pokemon Daycare.
Naturally.
Yeah. So you leave two Pokemon in the daycare. I don't know
While
where
you
we're
go
on.
to your Pokemon job.
So I had another picture downloaded. I'm kind of
Robbie.
so you leave two Pokemon in a daycare center. You come back.
Unsupervised, you know what's gonna happen.
Babies
So
having
in-
babies.
Yup, exactly.
In Gen 2, specifically Gold, Crystal, Silver, where they introduced the Pokemon breeding, the old man who ran the daycare center.
Oh boy, this is getting. I wanted this to get weird, but not that
It's
weird.
not getting weird, and that's what you guys don't understand. So he would just stand outside of the Pokemon Center when you had an egg. So you'd walk. You'd have to walk distances in order for an egg to be laid. So you'd come to the old man who is now standing outside of the Pokemon Daycare Center, and he would say, an egg appeared. We have no idea where it came from, but it's yours if you want it.
Okay.
It sounds like a character from Zelda.
I imagine there's probably a lot of similarities in between the two games. I've never played
Both
a
Nintendo.
Pokemon game,
Yeah.
but
Like, there's always like an old man in Zelda. Like,
yeah, I imagine you kind of walk along and you go like, "Tut, tut, 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 tut," and then you
Like,
find a guy and he
here's
says,
some
"I've
thing.
got a thing," and then you go, "Okay,
I've got an
Here's
egg.
what I said.
I don't know where it came from, but it's yours if you want it.
Yeah,
And that just brings up the joke. The whole joke of the lore is like, we don't know where eggs come from. We put two Pokemon together. If they're in the same group, egg group, that's the picture that I was supposed to have up here.
egg group.
So it'd be like grass, water, water 2, water 3. And then you got field, which is a vast majority of Pokemon, and Pokemon can be in two different egg groups.
Okay.
So they have to be in the same egg groups in order to breed with one another. And this picture here just shows how complex. It's super complex breeding. Like the numbers
Yeah, just
and the
even
statistics.
emotionally.
And, calm down, Tom. So breeding, you send out things that determine what happens to the bred the Pokemon, the outcome Pokemon. You have the Pokeball that it's in, its gender, It's IVs, EVs. It's IVs. It's stats basically. Its ability, its nature, all aspects of which can be controlled through breeding. See, back in the day, competitive Pokemon players would. Tom just yawned, and I got really offended.
It's an unintentional.
He needs more air.
It was
to
a
his brain.
biomechanical response.
So back in the day, competitive Pokemon players would spend hours and hours breeding Pokemon to get the perfect stats, the perfect IVs, individual values for
I was wondering why it was called that.
each specific stat. And there's so many aspects. So you think about it like this. You have a female Pokemon and a male Pokemon, or one of those being a Ditto, which is genderless. And then you got genderless Pokemon. You got Pokemon that have no gender, like Magnemite, which is a freaking magnet. And then Ditto, which is an amorphous blob that just love everybody.
Oh.
See, any Pokemon can breed with Ditto and come out with an egg.
I've worked with
Except
people
for
like that.
except for like legendary Pokemon that otherwise cannot breed. So there are so many different aspects in breeding. It's crazy. So from what we gather, it just like kind of happens asexually.
Okay.
That's getting deeper into like the lore behind what is a Pokemon. Because
That's a good question. Is there a quick answer? Because I just thought they were
energy beings of constructed light.
energy beings of constructed light.
At least that is a theory. But
Because I just always kind of thought they were like
little pets, little
like little
creatures,
critters who
monsters.
lived in this world, like
But then
they're
you
like
th-
like
but then
Care
there's, like,
Bears or
how
something.
How do they hang out in the Pokeballs? One of the theories is they are just beings of light. They're just light constructs, much like
Us.
No, much like the characters in Steven Universe, the Crystal Gems. They are just light projections. So when our Pokeballs could just be light projectors. But yeah, no, Pokemon breeding. It's crazy, and so one crazy thing to think about in a more literal sense is egg groups. So you have one Pokemon, one egg group. So like just Pokemon that can breed with another Pokemon that probably shouldn't if you're thinking about it in a more literal sense of breeding. So you have Skitty here. Little kitten Pokemon. Then you got a freaking Wailord, which is the size of the freaking Hindenburg.
It sounds like it, just based on the name, the connotations of the phonemes in that name. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
All right. So I feel like that's a good setting off point.
I will say that I'm.
Is there anything you want to discuss further about the whole breeding aspect, or that we could
Not
relay
really.
into another episode?
I just was hoping that there was a little more. Like, I wish that they had to, not actually like do it, but like I wish there was something. Like in The Sims, right? They like go next to each other and like a heart pops up and they like shimmy around or something, or they like go into a room and something. There's an indication that there's some sort of biological process going on.
Specifically, I mean, I don't know about specifically a biological process, but like, in the original games, you would click on the Pokemon, one of the two Pokemon in the daycare center.
Give it some wine.
No, you would just you would talk to it, and it would say, it itself wouldn't say, but the dialogue, the text box that would pop up would say, these Pokemon get along well together. That means they're in the same age group.
So there's an indication of there's.
Oh
some
yeah,
kind of
hang on a second.
mutual, Hey.
Real quick,
Do you come here often?
Another thing about breeding is moves. Like the moves that these Pokemon can learn, they're called egg moves.
Egg moves.
So you have
egg moves.
So you have like one Pokemon.
I have that record.
Yeah,
so you have one Pokemon up here that knows this move. You need to breed this Pokemon so that this Pokemon would have that. But then guess what? These two Pokemon are in the same egg group, so you'd have to breed them together, have that hatchling breed with a whole nother Pokemon just so it would have the move of this original Pokemon up in top. So,
Complicated.
yeah, it's so complicated, and it's gotten so much
It
easier.
sounded kind of like truth tables there for a second.
There is a lot of
No, I don't.
hand holding, and
P equals Y, not P, that kind of shit. You don't remember that?
all right, I'm struggling over here. Struggle.
Trying to get those rhythm and blues.
So, I want to end this episode with Jay, Tom. Why don't you give the audience your best dad jokes?
I've got a few jokes that I have made up personally myself. I made up a whole series of jokes about conspiracies.
Okay.
So there's one that goes, did you hear about the elevator conspiracy? It could go all the way to the top. I made that up. And then there's, did you hear about the mummy conspiracy? They're keeping it under wraps. I made that up.
Tommy,
Yeah.
I like that one.
And
brother.
then there's, did you hear about the library conspiracy? It's all very hush-hush. Yeah, like at a library, you
I
get
see
quiet.
what you did there.
Yeah,
that
I
was
made
awesome.
a variety of these
Yeah,
conspiracy
dude,
jokes.
they're good. They're
Did you
good.
hear about the mirror conspiracy? You should look into it. You know, I made up all these jokes.
There's a mirror right there.
I looked into it. It's all myself.
Do you know why Snoop Dogg carries an umbrella?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Would you like to be the one to say it?
for drizzle.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh, golly, we have fun here.
We sure do.
How do you get a tissue to dance?
You
You put a little
Put a little boogie in it.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you get? What happens when you?
Oh man, this is gonna be a good one.
Yes, I'm ready to get slayed on this.
Oh, that was the joke.
Basically.
What happens when you ha 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 ha? Is there a joke there? Or were you
No, there's no joke there. It was supposed to be me trying to say a joke, laughing uncontrollably, and then we just moved on from it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It was just like, hey guys, remember?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yes. Good.
Then you say a joke.
Why are we already told several? There's another joke I made up. Did you hear that the astronaut broke up with his girlfriend? He just needed some space. But it was never going to work out anyway because she always said he just wasn't down to earth enough.
Man, that really
It's like
breaks
two-
my heart.
2 parts right
Yeah,
No.
I made that one up too.
It's just like, you know,
I'm pretty good.
You
are
try.
Thanks, man.
No,
so creative.
like you go through so much stuff. You go to space. You're an astronaut. You go to space, and then you have to deal with literally earthly problems such as dating and relationships.
Yeah.
And where do you draw the line between, you know, what's right for you and what's right for you and someone else?
I think they have those problems on like the International Space Station.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
When
They're
you're working-
people.
when you're
They're
working
astronauts.
that close.
Spoiler alert, astronauts are people just like you, I, or Jay.
Yeah, and imagine like,
Me and you.
but you're in space, man.
Yeah.
It's like you got trapped on like a desert island with somebody. You're
So-
even more isolated out in the International
And then you
Space
see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles surfing.
In space.
Station. Yeah.
We went full circle, boys.
There's this one I was reading the other day about. There's this thing. There's an island somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, which is like the most isolated.
Oh,
point
I know
on
exactly what you're
Earth.
talking
It's
about.
the farthest away from any
Yeah.
other, and to the point where
There is
when
like,
the International Space Station passes overhead of that part of the ocean where the island is, the people on the ISS are closer to you on the island than anybody else on the Earth.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's-
Yeah.
There's
pretty
this
cool.
place that's like literally in the middle of the ocean. It is further. It's the most furthest point from any source of like land or anything.
Yeah, and it's uninhabited, I assume.
And there's nothing living.
Yeah.
Like around it.
Pretty wild.
Like there's nothing in the waters there. You can't fish for shit.
It's a great big world out there, boys.
Sure is.
It really is. And then you got to think 8 billion people in this world that we know of. And then you got the people in Sentinel Island. We're not even going to talk about those people. No, Jay,
Let's not. We'll talk about that next week.
I thought you said, what's that? Tony really said, let's not.
Let's not.
But, yeah, no.
It is
You have
midnight on the nose right now.
you have 8 billion people, and every one of those people have to take account for themselves. Every single person on this planet has to take accountability for their existence. So we're living in a world where there is global warming. There are wars out in Russia and Ukraine and whatnot, and each person in this world needs to take accountability for themselves. And that's what really upsets me is how are you going to take account for 8 billion people? You know, each person needs to realize that they can make a change if we all band together. Togetherness, friendship, ellipses, George Foreman grills.
That's beautiful, Robbie.
You got so much stuff going on in the world, and all you can do is just take account for yourself. You know, take accountability for yourself. Be a better person. You got to be better, not bitter.
Oh,
And that's where we're going to close off tonight's episode.
nice, Robbie.
That was a good send-off.
Nice.
Thank you so
Better.
much, Tom.
We got
Not
serious.
bitter.
I like
Thank
that.
you,
I like that.
Jaybird.
We could get serious every now and then.
Let's have a 3-way fist bump.
Through
Yeah! Teamwork.
Brotherhood.
Make sure to like,
Comment.
And
comment
subscribe.
down below. Comment your opinions.
Nice.
Comment how many Pokemon real or fakes you got, and be sure to be subscribed, because if you don't subscribe, if you're listening to this right now and aren't subscribed,
Maybe somebody could help me because I suck at this game.
Yeah, I would. Oh
Yeah.
man, I hate to see how we
We
bear
need
up
people-
against the listeners of this.
we know
Yeah.
people who know about Pokemon to coach our boys, Tommy and Jay. But be sure to subscribe, because if you're watching this and you aren't already subscribed, I need to feed my family. Like, my children will starve.
Views don't feed the goats, man. It's subscriptions that do.
Yeah, because if that were the case, then I'd have enough food for my goats in the Mario Kart video.
Pokemon babies.
But thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Robbie.
This
Thank
is
you,
much.
brother.
Next week we might have a special guest. Maybe. Ooh la la. This is Munchlax Attacks signing off.